Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am.
Nino Brown Boxing, and I'm back in the building. Shout out to the LDBC. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Yeah, I know I haven't been dropping videos consistently. A lot of stuff been going on, but it's a lot of stuff in boxing that's been on my brain. And honestly, when it comes to the sport and how a lot of people are conducting themselves, fans included, like, it just has me frustrated and have my interest level low. Now, what I mean about fans included, it's getting very annoying to see the rise in a lot of fans, that are supposed to be fans of boxing. They're so focused on ticket sales and popularity. And like last time I checked, this isn't high school. This isn't an award show. Boxing is about your skill and your ability to perform, your ability to train, all of that stuff. It's a sport. And it seems like the trend has increased where a lot of guys like to use the whole excuse, this guy doesn't sell tickets. And I just look at it and I listen to videos and I think to myself, like, who gives a damn? Like, I don't care if a guy like Earl Spence or if it's Canelo or whoever, like, they can only sell one ticket. But when I watch those guys on TV, when I watch them get in the ring, I watch that bell ring and then they meet up in the center of the ring, face to face, man against man, skill for skill, no drugs involved, of course, and a fair match. The best fighter is what's more important. And it's just crazy how people are so focused on the ticket sales. Like, I don't get it. Now, does it make sense when you have the promoters talking about it? Absolutely. Because their checks are signed by the organization that benefits from ticket sales. If, like, even at the lowest scale, like, if you work in the stadium, I get it, how you may have this slight connection to the fighter that draws the most people, but if you're at home and you're watching the fight and you have no type of affiliation with either fighter, no type of affiliation with the promotional company or the venues or the sponsors that's involved in this event, why are you so concerned about who's the most popular? Why are you so concerned about the ticket sales? Like, I'm not saying this in a way like, oh, you shouldn't speak on it. That's fine. It's definitely it's a part of the sport, but it shouldn't dictate whether or not a fight should happen or not. Like, I would say Alonzo Ball, if anyone's familiar with boxing, is a whole lot more popular than a lot of NBA players that are better than him. That doesn't mean that Alonzo should be held to a higher regard because his name is more known. It's just crazy. So, like, within the last week or so, a lot of people were talking about Deontay Wilder and bashing him, saying, oh, he can't sell out the Barclays. Now, shout out to the big homie for non-international boxing. He actually created a video and he went in depth and he pretty much exposed the myth about the whole Barclays thing. He went in detail about how Ticketmaster works, how it operates, how a majority of the tickets are sold within the last 3 days of the fight. And this past weekend, it wasn't at that point. Flan also stated in his video, I may not have the number exactly, but it was definitely less than 10% of the tickets were available for the fight. Now, pushing all of that aside, why, like, I don't understand. It makes no sense why a grown man goes out of his way to create a video about Wilder not selling out the arena. Like, if you're Eddie Hearn and, you're talking about this for Anthony Joshua, or if you're PBC and Al Heyman, Showtime, like, those guys, it makes sense. But you're a fan. You have a boxing channel on YouTube, or you're in the comment section. Once again, correct me if I'm wrong, but last I checked, we're boxing nerds. We enjoy the sport of boxing. We go in depth, and our love for the sport is beyond the normal person walking around. With that being said, shouldn't we be more concerned about who's going to get the knockout? Shouldn't we be more concerned about, who's the better fighter and why? Like, shouldn't we go in depth about their resumes and how I noticed this particular flaw about him in his previous fight? Or it seems like this particular thing has been improving. Or he's fought this particular fighter, and this fighter is going to definitely put him in a better position to defeat this guy in the next upcoming bout. Like, all of those are valid points for me. And, you know, it's, to me, it's the things that boxing fans are supposed to be focused on. Like, once again, this is not a popularity contest. This isn't a pageant. Like, this is boxing. This isn't Mrs. Universe or Mrs. USA or whatever the case may be. Like, we're trying to find out which man has the ability to beat the other man's ass. Plain and simple. Like, that's all it's about. Now, we can get a lot more technical when it comes to the fighting aspect of it. But the ticket sales have absolutely nothing to do with who's the better fighter. Like, if anything, that's a promoter's issue. Like, you can be the best fighter in the world. Muhammad Ali could have just had a horrible promoter, and he could have been a very quiet guy. You know, he had his political views, and he dealt with his political views outside of the ring. So you're telling me Muhammad Ali wouldn't have been the greatest of all time if he didn't sell that many tickets? If he was still put on the stage, if he still had that high level of competition put in front of him, and he beat those guys, and he ended his career with the same record that he ended his career with, having all of that popularity, does that take away from the level of boxer he was? In my opinion, absolutely not. And I feel like in any reasonable boxing fan, in any reasonable boxing fan's opinion, Muhammad Ali's legendary status, his boxing legacy, will not be tarnished because he wasn't as popular. Like, last time I checked, if you're a master at your craft, you don't have to be mainstream to be known as the greatest or to be respected for what your craft is. There's a lot of people that aren't famous. They don't sell tickets, but they're respected in their communities or whatever their craft is, and they're held to a high standard. It's just confusing to me as a boxing fan, and it's very frustrating that you have a lot of fans. That you have a lot of fans. Excuse my GPS. Normally I would cut that out, but I'm going to keep going with this video. It's just very frustrating that a lot of fans focus so much on that. But, I mean, that's just my take on it. Anybody have any extra input, any comments, just drop it in the comments section. At this point, I'm just frustrated when it comes to that aspect of boxing. This is Nino Brown Boxing. Shout out to the LDBC. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Peace.